Hey friend, what's your favorite kind of apple? I'm curious. Everyone kind of seems to have their favorite. Mine happens to be a pink lady. That's my favorite kind of apple. I'm Mandy, and you're here. You're joining me for another episode of Tuesday Tea with Mandy B. We're going to talk today about 6 ways that apples can actually help keep you healthy. And I'm really excited to share some of this research with you. We all got exposed to apples probably as babies through applesauce. It's one of the typically first foods that we get introduced to as babies. And now everyone seems to have their favorite. We have so many varieties of apples that are out there, whether it's a Granny Smith or Macintosh or Red Delicious. Like I said, my favorite is a pink lady apple. We all think of apples as old friends. Apples are grown throughout the world. They're high in fiber. They're great for vitamins and minerals. They also include lots of antioxidants. They're fat-free, cholesterol-free, and they're low in sodium. So apples can be and should be a part of a healthy lifestyle. So let's talk today about 6 ways that apples keep you healthy. Are you ready for number one? I'm reading through my notes over here. I do have some research to share with you today. So the first way is that apples can regulate your day. You don't have to worry about staying regular anymore. And whether your problem is going too much or not going enough, apples actually can help. So there was a British researcher, Dr. D.P. Burkitt, and he believes that one of the easiest ways to prevent all sorts of illnesses is to avoid constipation. He calls the diseases that are caused by chronic constipation pressure diseases. You can imagine where that name came from, right? Things like appendicitis, diverticulitis, hemorrhoids, hiatal hernias, even varicose veins can all be caused by straining too hard to have to use the bathroom. So just one apple with its skin contains 4 to 5 grams of fiber, and that's the most important nutrient in keeping your bowels moving like a well-oiled machine. I know it's not fun to talk about, but it is important in our bodily health. So keeping yourself regular without relying on harmful laxatives could be as easy as replacing that afternoon snack of potato chips or cookies with a crisp, delicious apple. Think about all the calories you're going to save. The average apple is about 80 calories. Now, that's going to be specific to each variety and actually each individual apple. But a serving of chips weighs in at about 150 calories, and you're getting about 200 if you choose cookies. But that's not all that apples can do. They're also great on the other end, the opposite of constipation, thanks to an ingredient called pectin. So this carbohydrate actually has a congealing effect. It's going to kind of firm up all of those things in your intestines and return you to normal. So one of the best things you can eat when you're going too often and your stools are too loose is applesauce. So you're getting all of the benefits of apples without the high fiber skin. But I do want to caution you to watch out for extra sugar. Some brands of applesauce dump a ton of sweeteners in an otherwise healthy food, and so too much refined sugar could actually make your loose stools worse. So watch out for that when you're buying your applesauce. The second way that apples can keep us healthy is to keep your body young. We all want to stay young, right? You know now that antioxidants, we've all heard about antioxidants keeping us protected from various diseases that seem to be a part of aging. In fact, so many people are taking supplements for antioxidant protection that it's become a multi-billion-dollar industry. But there's evidence that's mounting that whole foods can actually do more for you as far as antioxidants than pills can. So there was a study that scientists did comparing a 1,500 milligram vitamin C supplement to one small apple. The results were actually really astounding. The antioxidant values were equal. That means that the fresh apple had more than 15 times the antioxidant power of the recommended daily dose of vitamin C, and that's just for starters. The researchers also found that an ordinary apple was able to stop the growth of colon and liver cancer cells in test tubes. That's not in human bodies. That's a in test tube in vitro research study that was done. But unpeeled apples were especially effective at this. So the question you need to ask for yourself: why waste money on flavorless supplements when you can actually get better antioxidant firepower from a sweet, crunchy apple? You can cut your risk of heart disease too. It's sometimes hard to remember which food is good for which parts of your body, but the next time you pick up an apple, just examine it really carefully. It's shaped a bit like a heart, and that should remind you that apples are really, really good for your heart. It's the magnesium and the potassium in apples that are going to help regulate your blood pressure and keep your heart beating steadily. And it's the flavonoid quercetin, a naturally occurring antioxidant that protects your artery walls from damage and keeps your blood flowing smoothly. In fact, adding those flavonoid-rich foods like apples to your diet has been scientifically confirmed to lower your risk of heart disease. Isn't that amazing? There's proof in the study of Japanese women who ate foods high in quercetin. They were less likely to get coronary heart disease than other women, and they had lower LDL and total cholesterol. So that's a great way. So heart health is another way that apples keep us healthy. Another way that they keep us healthy is about having heart attacks and strokes. Sorry, I do this every week. I get a little fumbly with my words. Apples are even a smart choice for helping avoid strokes. Scientists aren't exactly sure which ingredient in the apples to credit, but the connection is clear. People who eat regular apples or who regularly eat apples are less likely to have strokes than people who don't. Another way that apples can protect us is by protecting our joints. So in areas of the world where fruits and vegetables make up a larger portion of the diet, very few people actually get arthritis. Isn't that an interesting correlation? If you compare that to modernized countries where fruits and vegetables have been replaced with fast processed food, you'll actually find that up to 70% of the population suffers from some form of arthritis. Do you think that's just a coincidence? Not according to nutrition experts. They actually link this trend in part to boron, which is a trace mineral that you find in many plants, including apples, that they absorb from the soil when they're being grown. If you're like most people, you likely get 1 to 2 milligrams of boron a day, mostly from non-citrus fruits, leafy vegetables, and also from nuts. And experts believe that you need anywhere from 3 to 10 milligrams a day to affect the risk of arthritis. So to boost your boron intake, you'd have to eat more than 9 apples a day. That's probably too many for most people, but don't despair. Pair an apple with some other boron-rich foods, like a few tablespoons of peanut butter. I love that combination, apples and peanut butter, or even a large handful of raisins. You can do ants on a log like we talked about last week. Instead of celery, you could actually just spread peanut butter on some apples and put on some raisins, and there you go. You are saving your joints by increasing your boron, and so that's an amazing combination. Apples are also amazingly helpful to help you breathe deeply. Your lungs are assaulted all day, every day by things like secondhand cigarette smoke, air pollution, pollen, and other things that are floating around in the air. If you happen to suffer from asthma or emphysema or any kind of lung condition, if you want to take a deep breath, grab an apple. There was a 5-year study of more than 2,500 men from Wales who found that those who ate 5 or more apples a week were able to fill their lungs with more air than men who didn't eat apples. That's really interesting. Experts believe that you might be getting some special protection from an antioxidant, again, that we talked about earlier called quercetin. Unfortunately, eating apples can't reverse that lung condition that you already have, but you might just add a new line of defense against further damage. Now, here's a couple of pointers when you're looking to buy apples to get all of these great benefits that we've talked about today. Buy apples that are unbruised and firm and have good color. Take them out of their plastic bag when you get them home and store them in your refrigerator. Loose the product bin or in a paper bag, that's the best. Loose in the product bin or in a paper bag is best. This is when I'm trying to read notes live on my videos. And since they will absorb odors, keep them away from other strong smelling foods like garlic and onions. So store those separately in your produce bins. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful to you to think about all the ways that apples can be a healthy choice in your day. I want to hear what type of apple you love. What's your favorite? Drop it in the comments. And I have a freebie for you that is 5 blood sugar healthy recipes. And you can grab that by dropping a comment below and I'll